Alright guys, so we are coming to you from Las Vegas, and we are in the car because we have been wanting to do these YouTube videos for a long time and we just cannot find the time to do them. So we figured, what better time than when we are driving down the road, and yeah, since we're in the car anyways and we are looking for time to share this with you guys. I have no idea what that weird reflection is on there. It's like really weird. Okay, there we go. I think that's a little better. Alright, so we want to talk to you guys today about budget and spending and how much money we spent last month as a family of 6 plus 2 dogs living in our RV full time. So yeah, it's an interesting no, that's the other way. I need to get you in there. It was an interesting, it's been an interesting thing to start to do our budget, and what we've actually done is try to document it every day, every month of what it is that we're spending and where money is going. So our goal as a full-time family of 6 plus 2 dogs living and traveling full-time in our RV around the US is to spend $4,000 a month. And that $4,000 is for everything. There's no hidden money, no hidden anything in there. It is $4,000 straight out. So we documented it for the first time in September, and in September we were at like 5,000 something. Started seeing in there that there is definitely expenses that we were spending that we weren't aware we were spending, and money that was going to extra things that we didn't realize was happening. So yeah, so it was very eye-opening. So we documented everything in September, and then we did the same thing for October. And in October we were at 4,700. So that was better, yay! So getting closer to it. So we are continuing to do this every month now to kind of get a really good take on where our spending is at and what we can do differently to make it even better and get it closer to that 4,000. And let me tell you, there are lots of times where I feel like it would just make a lot more sense if we just made more money. But money, 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 money. When we started to do this, our whole goal was to work less and play more. And by play more, that does not mean spend more. That just means more cuddle time in bed, more time playing games, more time going out to national parks and hiking and doing things like that. So yeah, so that's our goal. So we really, really want to stick to it. Ideally, Craig and I both want to work 20 hours a week and have that 20 hours a week be all we need to do to be able to make the money that we need to cover our expenses. One part of it though, in that 4,000 budget that's not included is money that goes into savings or retirement or things like that. So both Craig and I had full-time jobs where with those full-time jobs where with those full-time jobs we were had 401ks, so we had money that was going into retirement and doing that. So we do have some of that that's out there, you know, still in those plans that we're not planning on touching anytime soon. So definitely, you know, feel a little bit better. At least we have something in there, but obviously, ideally, we would like to be able to continue to, you know, put money into it so that when it is time for us to retire, we have a way to do that. Then again, we're kind of living our retirement right now, just with our family. So kind of looking at it that way as well, and kind of figuring we're living for the moment and the day, and, you know, that is what it is, and we will figure out the other pieces of it. So in any case, 4,000 right now is what we are looking to get at for our budget. And what that includes is about $1,600 a month in bills, and that is our bills for, again, everything. We have a payment on our RV, we have a payment on our car, cell phone bills, health insurance, life insurance, some money going into our kids' stock, things like that. And if you want to know the details, we have that all broken down, literally laid out in details, how much we spend each month on those things at our blog, crazyfamilyadventure.com. You should see the budget one at the top since we just did it, but if you don't, it would be under full-time travel. You should see all that information there as well. But yeah, so we have everything literally documented, like down to the penny of like what that stuff costs for us. So, and if you have any insight into ideas on how we can cut any of those costs, by all means let us know. But yeah, so $1,600 a month going to pay for our bills. And then we kind of figured food, we're looking to make it about $800, maybe $1,000 a month for our family. Last month we were at $927 for, like, you know, grocery store food. Does include alcohol. We have both kind of decided that we might need to cut back on that a little bit for just health reasons, but then also just for the money reasons. But anyways, it does include that and grocery store stuff. But then on top of it, we did spend like, I don't know, $390 going out to eat. Yeah, that's not in the budget. Yeah, but that's a lot. But what happens is, when, as anyone knows, when you're on vacation, you're out traveling, sometimes it just makes more sense to just go out somewhere to eat.
Well, it depends where we're at too, right? Because if we're at a higher end, classier place like in Sedona, it's just going to cost more.
Yeah, and I think compared to McDonald's.
Well, compared to other places that might have like a Chili's, or like, you know, that's their nice fancy restaurant.
Yes, no, that's very true. And it is hard when you go to a place. We do want to go check out restaurants and do things like that because it's fun. You know, we like to go out to eat too and check out places, you know, what they have to offer for their local restaurants and things like that. So, yeah, so that's a little bit more. I wouldn't say that that should be zero. We have, I think in our budget, like, I should know this, right? I think $400 set aside a month for like extra stuff, like just things like that. So when we go places, we can do those experiences and, you know, do all of that. But yeah, so anyway, so that was a little too high for eating out. So definitely this month we've been trying to really cut that down, trying to, like, you know, eat food at home before we go somewhere. So like on Thanksgiving we went to the Vegas Strip and actually made the kids all lunch before we went. And then when we got there, they just got a side of fries, which they were more than happy to have. And then Craig and I just split a meal. So like our dinner bill was like $22 or something. So yeah, so definitely looking to try to figure out ways to cut that down. And then for gas, gas is always an interesting one, because when we go to a location, if we're going to be driving a lot, so sometimes when we stay at these Thousand Trails places, which are good campgrounds because we can get it for free with our membership, but they are like a good half hour, 45 minutes from anything that we want to do. So if we have to drive to those places, that's obviously going to cost us a little bit more to, you know, be out driving, you know, 30 miles to get to anywhere we're going. And then of course there's the RV. So if we are looking to go somewhere far with the RV that month and travel, that's going to be more as well. So I'll put this one over to Craig. So how many miles per gallon do we get for the RV?
We're pushing, I don't know, 8, say 8.
8. All right, so 8 miles per gallon for the RV. So if we're gonna go somewhere like from Arizona, in Sedona area to Las Vegas, that's gonna be what, 200 miles, something like that. So yeah, so that adds up really quick. So last month for gas, we were at like $700. That's a lot, but sometimes that is what it is. So again, for our budget, we're not expecting to be that high, but now we're trying to get better at realizing it might be that high sometimes and like taking that into consideration and putting that into our budget. The other thing, medical bills. Luckily, knock on wood, right? We don't want those to be very high every month, but sometimes they just are when things come up. So we don't have anything budgeted for that. We kind of figure that's one of those things when they come up, that's what we do have some savings for. So last month it was like $100. This month it was like $500 because we had some old dentist bills we had to pay and some other things from when we were back home for that. So yeah, again, is what it is, right? So we have that, and then campground fees. So with the campground fee, we are starting to boondock more. So by boondocking more means that we stay for free on public land or in casino parking lots or Walmart. Yeah, you can stay there for free. So yes, we do that.
Walmarts are never free.
Well, no, because
they
we
know
always
what they're doing.
Go into Walmart and buy something. So yeah, they know what they're doing with that. But so anyway, so we try to do boondocking a little bit. So that means, you know, free camping. And then also with our Thousand Trails membership, we just have to pay, I think it's $540 for the year. But that's also what we did is instead of paying that a one-time fee, we do that monthly. So we pay about $49 a month for a Thousand Trails membership, which means we can stay free at any of the Thousand Trails resorts around the U.S. for the month. And that is really nice to have. And the plan we have means we could literally go and just stay in Thousand Trails for the whole time. So we do that whenever we can, and it's mixed feelings on it, because part of it is that the resorts are, you know, decent and they have full hookups. You know, usually we'll meet other families there, which is great, but their locations aren't always the best. So that's where we then pay more for gas, because we're driving to go see and do things. So what we've tried to do is kind of throw the Thousand Trail stays in with a month, or maybe we've been out doing a lot for a month, so we're looking for like a break week. So we'll throw the Thousand Trails in there, where we'll go stay there for 2 weeks and just know we're not going to do a lot and just get caught up on work and just hanging out and playing and doing all of that. So it works out well for that. And I will also add that when we got our Thousand Trails membership, we had to buy it new, or I'm sorry, we bought it used, and it was like $3,000 up front to buy it. So we did just pay for that straight out, the $3,000, and now we have it, and then we just have to pay that monthly, about $49. So yeah, so last month it was just $49. We stayed at all free places for the month, which worked out really well. And this month we're looking to do the same thing. So we are staying at the Las Vegas Thousand Trails, and then from here we'll be going to another Thousand Trails in California. So maybe doing some boondocking in between there as well, but looking to keep that free. So yeah, the campgrounds are really up to us what we want to do, and yeah, it's an interesting one, but one that's nice having a Thousand Trails, so we know if we're not going to spend any money or don't want to on the campgrounds, that we have that option. Alright, so other than that, we have our business expenses, so the money that goes into our business each month, which, to be honest, I was surprised it was as much as it was. I didn't think we were spending as much on it as we are. But for our business expenses, we are looking at around $400 to $600 a month, and that is for things like, I have a couple people that do some work for me, so we're paying them. And then the other side of it is that we also have like some different tools that we use, so it's paying for those tools, our email service, some different other tools we use. That, I think we have that broken down in detail in the blog post as well, but we're looking to get that even less if we possibly can. But that's what those expenses are. And then the category that is always tough one is the extras.
Miscellaneous.
Miscellaneous.
The junk drawer.
Yes, the junk drawer of expenses. So I called that one miscellaneous because it really is just that. I did not have another category for it to go into. So that is that category of when, you know, you go to Walmart or Target and you go in for toothpaste and you leave with a cart full of $100 worth of stuff. I know you guys get it. I know you've been there. So yeah, so we are trying to really cut that extras category down so that we don't have that big of an amount in there. Last month it was like $500. And the funny thing is, when I look at that Walmart list or the Target list, I can't even remember what we bought. So it must not have been something we really needed. So in any case, we are working on that extras category and really trying to lower that if at all possible. We also have a category for experiences, which for experiences, I feel like we've done a really good job keeping that low. With the travel blog, it's helpful because there are times we can get things for free through the travel blog that then we write about and share on social media. So that's definitely been helpful. And then other than that, we've just tried to do a really good job of researching free things to do. So when we go to a location like Las Vegas, like we'll put in free things to do in Las Vegas. And then, you know, just head out and check those out. So yeah, so that's where we're at with our budget, and that's what we're spending. And I really feel like the $4,000 a month is totally doable. For our bills, we do have with our RV like a $530 payment, and then on the car it's $300, I think, $325, something like that. So we do have those two payments. So if you're someone that's looking to do this and you don't have those payments, then know that that'd be saving you almost $900 a month, so that you could technically do it for, you know, $3,000 or $4,000 and not be stretching it as thin as we are. But no, I totally think that $4,000 is possible. Next month's budget is Christmas. $4,000 is not gonna happen with Christmas there. That's okay.
Christmas is canceled, guys. Sorry.
It's worth it for Christmas to spend a little extra. But yeah, and we do have some money in savings that keeps kind of fluctuating. We just have to learn how to keep putting more in so we can keep growing it. But yeah, so anyways, that is what we do from a budget spending perspective with a family of 6 and 2 dogs living and traveling full-time in a Class A motorhome. So if you have any questions, please do leave them in the comments. If you want to see this broken out in detail, I'm serious, detail down to the cents, on our blog, please check it out, crazyfamilyadventure.com, and leave any comments or questions you have there as well. And yeah, we're doing this every month as of now, so we'll keep you guys updated on how we're doing, and hopefully we can start to hit that 4,000 mark and do that consistently. So thanks for listening. Let us know if you have any questions.